this HSV GTS, you'd have to suggest it's the kind of car for which words like bodacious must have been specifically coined. It really is a hell of a thing. So what do you do with all this horsepower? Well, HSV clearly wants you to take it to a racetrack, which is massively responsible of them. They've even provided the telemetry for favourite circuits, including Manfield Auto Course, just down the road from where we are now. Love to take it there, but time really doesn't allow, and nor really do the conditions of the road test agreement. So the next best thing, we found a nice big steep hill, and we'll point it up that. Obviously we won't be able to go entirely ballistic in the car, but it'll give you some idea, hopefully, of just what's available without me having to risk my license. Two things that HSV have never skipped on are grunt and grip, and they're both in abundance here. You know, we're trucking along at a good old pace here, but believe it or not, we're not even pulling 2000 RPM. You might have noticed I'm not actually doing anything with this gearbox. I've just left it in its sports setting, and the thing has actually tailored itself more to the way I'm driving just at the moment, so it's holding the gears for longer. The magnetic ride control too, we've set it to performance. Track setting is best left to exactly that, a track, I feel. And there's compliance here, but also the car sits really flat going into corners, so it doesn't buck you around like some of the earlier HSV stuff would do. With FPV out of the picture, this really is the last of its kind, but only in an Australian sense. There are still alternates out there. For instance, our next visit is to the house of AMG. There's something there you might find quite interesting. I know what you're thinking. You really need an E63 AMG to fully compare with HSV's finest. Big brawny car with a big brawny V8, not this shopping trolley. Thing is, this A45 AMG is nothing like a shopping trolley. In fact, those people who buy it as such are in for a very rude surprise. So, while an outright comparo with a GTS really doesn't make sense, I suspect that were they directly pitched, well, the outcome could become quite interesting. Actually, the work that AMG has rendered with this car has pretty well eradicated what you'd think were the obvious inequalities between a 2-litre 4-cylinder car and a V8 with 3 times the capacity. In fact, you don't want to think of this as a minnow at all. It's really a mighty midget. Not only is this the highest output ever from a 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, it also creates better power to weight than that V8 HSV, and also creates more kilowatts per litre. Clearly, when you put so much power into such a small car, and even after you've given it 4-wheel drive, there is a relatively fine line between stupendous and, well, just a little bit stupid. But it is a remarkable car, and as long as you keep your wits about you, it's extremely rewarding. Kind of cars it gives me memory of are those Group A WRC rally machines of the 1990s. They're absolutely berserk, lots of snapping and cracking and pop like this thing. You're right, of course. At the end of the day, an AMG A45 isn't really like an HSV GTS. In a way, that's the point. AMG are looking to the future, and maybe that's something HSV should be doing too. Obviously, the clock is ticking. 2017 Commodore production ends, and you've got to think that's going to have quite an effect on what HSV does from that point on. Well, I'd just like to suggest that maybe they should consider an ossified version of something like this. Really, they could do a lot worse.